So it's a new year, and one of the things that comes along with a new year or a new phase of life, a new cycle, is doorways begin to open to us. And so these new doorways, these new opportunities, these new possibilities, these new spaces begin to open. Okay, now one of the challenges with this is discerning whether that's a new space that's opening or an old space, because especially this time of year, we're kind of in transition. Okay, let me just back up a little here. So when we put out an intention or we have a desire to create something new in our life, okay, that energy goes out and it starts opening doorways, okay? And as well, we may still have some lingering old intentions or habits or behaviors or addictions or whatever, and they may still have some intention with them. So there may be a pattern where we're creating other doorways that are not so new. And so the trick is discerning, is this a new doorway or is this an old pattern, an old doorway that I don't necessarily need to do again. Okay, so how do we discern? And that's something I've been working with, and I want to share what I've been learning is, so from my experience is the best way to do it is to step into the doorway, or we even talk about putting one foot into the doorway, like stepping into the doorway to see what's there. Okay, so when we do that, okay, then we can experience what's there. We experience the vibration of what's there, the energy. We experience how it feels to us. Are we drawn to it? Are we repelled? Are we indifferent? Drawn to is the only good one of those, by the way. And how are we received? How are the people in that space, the person or people, how are they responding to us? Or how are we responding to them? Does it feel like a connection, like there's a higher vibration from both sides? Or is it feeling not like that? Are we feeling like we're pulling away, or are they pulling away? Does it feel like a redo? Does it feel like karma, basically? Does it feel like an old pattern? And so that's what we're sorting out. Our intuition, feel like sensing with our intuition, feeling that way. How does this feel? Okay, so I want to give you an example. It actually is my second example with the Rogue Valley Yoga Studio in 2 weeks here. And so the same person I mentioned last week, Sarah, does these yoga teacher trainings, okay? And I was, not that I necessarily want to be a yoga teacher, but she's such a good teacher, and I thought there might be value in like getting this in-depth experience and understanding of yoga. So she did her kind of New Year's Day practice, and I went to it, and then there was a little talk about the teacher training that's going to start in February, and I figured, I'm pretty busy and I probably don't have time for this, but I figure I'm going to go to it just to see what's there. Maybe it's a doorway that so I'm just going to go. So that's an extra half hour, stay after the class, and so she starts talking about it, and it sounded really cool, and I wasn't necessarily drawn to it. I thought it was a really cool thing, or maybe it's even a cool thing for me to do at another time in my life, but I didn't feel really drawn to it. And so we did this little share of like, why are you considering it and blah, blah, blah. And I shared my thing. And it was interesting because, Sarah and the other, she didn't seem like that encouraging either, and normally she is, but it just, and she was nice and that, but she wasn't like encouraging me, oh, this would be such a good fit for you. She was not doing that. And I was not feeling that. Okay, so from neither side was it really jiving like this is the thing for you to do. And that which is what I suspected going in. I suspected I wouldn't do it, but I figured I'll try it out. And so notice there's this, it's coming from both directions. It's coming from my feeling, and it's coming from her feeling and the yoga studio's feeling, the spaces feeling, the doorways sense of like, are they wanting me? Do I feel, are they wanting me there? And basically, is the space wanting me there? Is the doorway wanting me there and the people in it? And am I wanting to be there? And you got to have both. It's like a date, it's like it works. It's like you got it. Like both people have to be into it for it to work. So it really is kind of like we're dating. We're going to these new doorways, these new spaces that come into our path that we're invited to. I was invited to this, and we're going and checking out. And then it's like we're going to see, like, what's at the, when I'm going to this date, if you will, this stepping into this doorway, what's there? How does it feel? Does it feel like I belong? Does it feel like this is where I'm supposed to be? Are our vibrations, are we resonating? And it's like, yeah, this feels right. This feels so good. I'm really psyched for this. I'm drawn to it. They're really drawn to me being there. And it just is like, this is like a good, boy, it's like I had a good date, in my doorway, if you will. And, or, maybe I was feeling it, but the other person wasn't. Maybe the other person was feeling it, but I wasn't feeling it. Maybe neither of us were feeling it, which is kind of the case the other day, I suspect. And this is my experience, by the way. Sarah could be seeing this a very different way, and I acknowledge this is just my experience, my sense of the experience that I'm sharing, So that is, and by the way, I almost feel bad for using not a positive thing for Sarah's teacher training. It would be the most amazing teacher training that you could do. She is so knowledgeable. And that's why I even went, even though I don't really want to be a yoga teacher, but it's going to be so amazing that I went anyway. So any of you that want to do a teacher training and live near Ashland, Oregon, I really recommend doing Rogue Valley Yoga's teacher training. It's just that you probably will not see me there this year because it could be totally different next year. So that's my second example. Once again, thanks to you, Sarah, and Rogue Valley Yoga. But I just wanted to share that. And so as you go through life, step into these doorways perhaps. And often the other thing I want to talk about is our mind. I'm going to share another quick one. So, I've been flying a lot. I'm dating, Jen, who lives in a distance. And so I'm doing a lot of flying more, and flying, if you haven't noticed, is really expensive these days. So Jen and I are flying back from somewhere, and we're in, I forget what, I think it was it American Airlines? I think it was American. And they start doing their spiel about, their credit card. They're going to give you 70,000 miles. And I'm already doing this with United, and I got a free flight, and it worked great. And was like $1,000 value or something. So it's amazing. And I immediately am like, no, I don't want to do that. I already have a credit card. And Jen listened to it too. And she was kind of like, boy, she said, that was a hard sell. And then she said, but this one sounds better than the United one. And I'm like, what? And then I just kind of rethought about it. And here, the bottom line is, if I spend, if I just buy one thing on that credit card, and I don't want to get into the details, but it's a really good deal. Like if I buy one thing and pay their annual fee, they're going to give me like 70,000 miles, which is close to a free flight. And then if I want, I can cancel the credit card. So here it is, these doorways that are coming. I'm offering prayers like, how can I have more abundance in my life? How can we get resources for all this travel? Well, here's a doorway that comes. My immediate response was, no, that's not going to work. That was like, I already have one of this. I don't want to play this game again, which is valid, but it's like, here it is. It's going to basically be a free flight for me. And so that's the other thing with doorways is they come to us, and at first we may want to push them away and say, immediately discount them or disqualify them or deny them and just say, that's not for me. But rather, luckily Jen was there just to kind of sit with it. Now, hold on. Let's look at this from a different perspective. Let's sit with this doorway. Let's step into this a little more and see what's here. And so there's a lot of doorways that we push away and never step inside of. Therefore, we never get the opportunity to go on the date even to see if it's a good fit for us and whether it can be part of our new life and a new doorway, new life, and the new intention that we may have been looking to bring into our lives. So that is my video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having an amazing new year. And I would just encourage you to watch out for those new doorways. Try not to discount them. Try to allow them in. Try to step in. Go on a few dates and see how they feel. And some of those doorways are going to be keepers. And I will see you in a week.